Hey guys, today I'm going to talk to you about the 10 most emotional moments of Disney's Raya and the Last Dragon. Now, this movie is out in theaters now, so if you have a theater near you that is open and you feel safe going, you can see it there, or you can order it with Premier Access on Disney Plus. I believe it is $29.99. Well worth the price. I have a review up, a spoiler-free review, so check that out if you haven't seen it already. If you have seen it, let's get into it. This is going to be all about spoilers. It's going to be the 10 most emotional moments, the ones that really got me. I'm excited to talk to you guys about it. I'm excited to get out my feels. So before we get into it, though, if you take 1 second and hit that subscribe button, I'd really appreciate it. Full warning, spoilers, massive spoilers. I am going to touch on the major plot points of Disney's Raya and the Last Dragon. So if you have not seen this movie yet, stop watching. But of course, I would love it if you would come back after watching it. Now, before we get into it, you guys, real quick, write down your emotional moments in the comments and let's see if we have some of the same ones. I'm willing to bet that we do. Hey, Tessa from Mama's Geeky here. Thank you so much for stopping by my YouTube channel. Okay, guys, as always, these are not in the order of how emotional they were for me. They are in order, more or less, of how they happened in the movie. So let's start with the first emotional moment of Disney's Raya and the Last Dragon, and that is Neymar's betrayal. Oh my goodness, this got me. I knew it was coming. I mean, we could tell from the trailers. I knew also because, like I said, I had seen the first 30 minutes or so during the Disney press event for Disney's Raya and the Last Dragon. But still, seeing just this bond, sort of, that Raya and Neymar had, you know, they bonded over Sisu, right? And their love of dragons and they're dragon nerds and they have this bond. And Neymar even gives Raya a gift, so much so that she is willing to completely trust her. She has dived into this trust. I mean, this is what her dad wanted. And she says, let me show you something really cool, like a dragon nerd to dragon nerd. Come check out this dragon gem. And Neymar just literally kicks her and just completely betrays her. And because of that betrayal, you know, the gem gets broken. And really you can tell that Raya feels like she is at fault for bringing the Droon back, right? Which kind of is. But, you know, I think the point of Fang coming to her was Neymar and her mother were definitely planning on trying to get the dragon gem somehow. And clearly, because Neymar and Raya are near the same age, that was the easiest way for that to happen. Just shows how just brutal Fang is, really. But that betrayal, it really hurt because you could see how upset Raya was by it. And I think it really upset me just to see that betrayal, right? So that's definitely a super emotional moment. And my heart was breaking for Raya in that moment because, you know, she put everything on her shoulders and she completely blamed herself for what happened next. The next emotional moment is the first time I cried in the movie. It was definitely not the last. And I'm going to try really hard not to cry during this video. I promised myself I wasn't going to do it. But it is when Chief Benja turns to stone. Now, I mean, listen, he literally takes Raya and tells her, don't give up on these people. Have hope. You know, Kumandra can maybe be united again. Don't give up on them. Look, this still has magic. Take it. And then he throws her off the bridge as the Droon takes him and turns him to stone. That was so heartbreaking. I was watching with my youngest daughter, who immediately started sobbing at that time. And it was just really sad, you know. You see all this stuff just happened. I mean, Raya was literally just betrayed by someone she thought was going to be a friend. And then her dad is like, don't give up on these people. And just throws her out of the way while he, you know, to save her, it throws her into the water because the Droon are afraid of water. So this is the only way he knew how to save her. And then he turns to stone. That was an absolutely heartbreaking moment. And it really sets up for the film. But yeah, that one was, that's an emotional one for sure. Now, you can't have emotional without some happy moments, right? So one of my favorite moments is when Sisu forms. I absolutely love that moment. I mean, you have Raya who's sitting there giving this offering and talking about she just wants her dad back and everything that she wants. And then Sisu forms out of water and it is so stinking beautiful. Of course, you have adorable little tuk-tuk there drinking out of the water when it beads and forms into Sisu. But I just absolutely loved that moment where you get to see her form and then you get to see her gorgeous dragon form with that hair, and she's just absolutely beautiful. I really love that moment. It made me really happy. I was excited, of course, and then it's hilarious because Awkwafina immediately starts in with the jokes about the jerky tasting awful and stuff like that. And so it was such a great moment. One of my favorite parts of Disney's Raya and the Last Dragon. Now, there is a whole lot of other incredible moments in the middle of this movie, but there's just so many moments that got me towards the end that I'm going to have to skip forward. But I mean, there's funny ones. There's some amazing epic battles that go on. I mean, the Khan Baby Noi is great. Just this whole ragtag group of people are hilarious. But let's skip forward because the majority of my emotional moments come at the end. I really probably could have lumped them all together into one because I was just a mess, an absolute sobbing mess towards the end of this movie. But we're going to jump to it, and I'm going to say the part where Raya gifts Neymar. So at the beginning, Neymar gives her Sisu necklace to Raya, trying to earn her trust, okay? Which she does earn and then backstabs her. So later on, we see Raya know the best thing that she can do, the way that she can maybe get Neymar on her side is to give her back that dragon necklace, that Sisu necklace, and just kind of give it as a peace offering. And the way that it's done is fantastic with Baby Noi and the Angis just kind of knocking people out and taking it all through Fang up to Neymar's window. But that whole scene is great, and just when you see that's what, I mean, obviously we knew that's what she was going to give Neymar, but that moment, it just felt, it like filled my heart, I was like, oh, Raya is going to trust again, and hopefully she isn't betrayed again by this same person. Like, she's making that effort, just like Sisu told her to, take that first step. And unfortunately, it doesn't go too well, which cuts me to my next most emotional moment is when Sisu is killed. And, it's kind of all of Raya's fault. I mean, Sisu is trying to talk to Neymar, and she goes, I trust you, I know that you just want this world to be put back together. You want to fix this world just like all of us do. And I trust you, Neymar. And clearly Raya did not trust Neymar. I mean, she did just literally betray her again. So you can't really blame Raya. But when Raya tries to stop Neymar, an arrow gets shot and it kills Sisu. And at first I was like, oh, but Sisu's not really dead. But then oh yeah, Sisu's dead. She falls into the water. You realize that there are no dragons left, so the water is going away. The Droon is coming out, and there's just all sorts of chaos and awful things happening, and that was so emotional. I think I didn't really expect Sisu to die at all in this, so that moment really got me. I was crying. It was... Oh, I'm not going to cry. It was so powerful a moment to show that, this trust, it's going to be really, really hard to get it back between Neymar and Raya. And are they going to be able to do it? I don't know. That was kind of like, this is the lowest of low. And now all the Droon are back and every single person is in trouble again. One of my favorite scenes, though, and something that completely warmed my heart and made me emotional in so many ways, is when you see this group of people, right? You see Baby Noi and Raya and Neymar and Boone and Tong all work together to get people to safety. They all have their little bits of the Dragon Gem, and they are doing the best to save everybody. These people of Fang, these people they said they would never trust, and they're doing every single thing in their power, especially, when Raya and Neymar end up working together too. That whole moment to just keep everybody safe from the Droon is just such a great moment. And I love the teamwork, seeing them work together towards a greater good. I mean, these are fantastic lessons that Disney's Raya and the Last Dragon is teaching everybody. And I love, love, love that scene. I think it's fantastic. We all knew we were getting to this point. This is by far the most emotional moment in the entire movie. Is when Raya decides, when they're at the end there, and it's literally just them. They're completely cornered. They're completely surrounded by the Droon, and they know they have to work together. And Raya thinks back to the things that Sisu told her and says, it was all about trusting each other. It wasn't about the dragon magic per se. It was that Sisu's family came around her and trusted her to be the one to do it. And Raya realizes that, you know, again, just like those dragons, they're making their final stand and they need to do something. They need to trust each other. And this trust has been broken for years between her and Neymar. And when she says that we need to work together, and they all kind of look around and they say there's no way they're going to trust Neymar, and she says, well, then I'm going to take the first step. And she hands over the thing that is protecting her, her piece of the dragon gem, what is keeping her from turning to stone. And she hands it to Neymar and then backs up to be surrounded by the Droon and turn to stone. It was completely heartbreaking, but completely heartwarming at the same time, because she's trusting Neymar. She's putting all of this trust into her, this person who has betrayed her time and time again. And she's saying, you know, this is the only way it's going to work. I have to completely trust you. Hands it over and backs into the Droon, turning to stone, and everyone else follows suit. I mean, Boone does it, and Tong and Baby Noi, and they all just literally place their trust in Neymar, who then she almost leaves. Like, this is what really got me. She took the dragon gem pieces and she's about to book it out, and she looks back and she sees these people as stones, you know, and what is she gonna do? And that's when she decides to go back and put them together, and she turns herself to stone, and you just don't know what's gonna happen. And there's this moment of just quiet, but they're all already stoned, and it's like, did this work? Did it not work? I mean, of course you figure it's Disney, it's gonna be a happy ending. I mean, can you imagine if the movie just ended like that? That would have been awful. But that whole scene is just about them putting their trust in Neymar, and she almost betrays them again, and it's like something clicks in her head that, like, okay, this is what I need to do. This is for the greater good. And I absolutely love that scene. It's one of my favorite scenes in the entire movie. It's super emotional. I was crying the entire time. My daughter's next to me crying. Both of my kids were crying. I mean, we were a hot mess. But it was just such a powerful scene. I love it. And I love the lesson that it teaches. And as hard as it is to watch, it's such a great moment. Such a great moment. And so, of course, the follow-up to that, the next most emotional moment, is when everyone comes back and you start to see everyone unturned to stone. I don't really know the right word, but you start to see everyone coming back. And not only that, but all of these people that have joined Raya have all lost their families to the Droon as well. And so you get to see them go back home to their families. You know, you see Boone come up to his family. One of my favorite parts is you get to see Tong and his little daughter that he had lost. You get to see him reunited with her, and then just all the reuniting and everyone just happy and realizing that it's over. That was such a great moment, followed quickly up by the fact this one moment when all the dragons come back, and then they bring Sisu back. I love that part when they circle the water and they bring up the water, and it turns back into Sisu, and you see that she's back, and she goes and sees Raya, and she's so happy. I love that moment. And then, of course, Raya being reunited with her father. And not only that, really, when Raya reunites with her father, she brings everyone with her, you know. Sisu says, I hope you don't mind that she brought some friends. And he sees that Raya accomplished his wish, his dream. This is what he wanted. He wanted Kumandra back. Raya was able to do it because she did exactly what he told her to do. She did not give up on them, right? She didn't give up on them. She had hope, and she was able to bring Kumandra together. And so that, of course, is the final, most emotional moment. This whole movie is just so great. There's, like I said, there's so many great lessons in this movie that are just so important, especially right now. You know, coming together for the greater good to fix something that is broken. And you just have to trust. And sometimes you just have to blindly trust, even if someone has betrayed you in the past. I absolutely loved Disney's Raya and the Last Dragon. You guys let me know what your most emotional moments were down below in the comments. Be sure to give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on more videos like this one. As always, you can follow me over on Instagram and Twitter. I'm at Mama's Geeky over there. MAMAS GEEKY. Thanks for taking the time to watch this, guys, and I'll see you next time.